Greetings, my name is Sumitiper and welcome to ACERVO Season 4 Episode 1, Whisper What? During times of peace, be it a strong or fledgling peace, all that people want is to rest. However, it is specifically in those moments that the destabilizing whispers begin. People whisper things that they didn't want to say. Things that they don't believe in, and things they couldn't have possibly known. Distrust grows stronger and peace collapses. Studies have shown this pattern occurring time and time again, initially thought to be the actions of a few bad actors. It has proven to be much more complex. It happens with all types of people with different worldviews and life experience. It could happen to a magnate, a poor farmer, a religious leader, workers of a charitable organization, and so many more. There is seemingly no pattern to who speaks the harmful whispers. Considering that an incident of mass hysteria cannot possibly happen throughout all human settlements, the working hypothesis is that they are actions of divine intervention. Perhaps the higher entities have created sentient life to attack each other and to entertain whichever god or gods there may be. These whispers have seemingly been present since prehistory, though it has only been written about as a phenomena since the late modern era. It is unknown how many wars have been caused or resumed because of such whispers. One of the most well-known instances started to occur 3 decades after the end of the Great War of the Seas, and had its highest point 2 decades before the Great War of the Skies. Once the final peace treaty was signed ending the Great War of the Seas, the Prime Minister of the leading side of the conflict made sure to visit the Chancellor of the defeated nation. Together they proclaimed to never let another war like this happen. No mother would need to cry the death of her son sent to battle. They signed an agreement of mutual assistance in rebuilding, and many other countries joined in together. Back home, for the first years, the Prime Minister was held as a hero. He served 3 more years before retiring. His party remained in power and produced 2 more Prime Ministers, one serving a long, uneventful tenure and the other a turbulent one. Nearing what was the end of the latter's 4th year as Prime Minister, a corruption scandal erupted. A member of his cabinet had told a journalist his distaste in the finance minister, which he deemed shady. The news decided to go after this man, and to the Prime Minister's misfortune, that man cracked easily under pressure. Everything was crumbling for the party. The defects and deals behind closed doors were exposed to the whole public. In this collapse, an upcoming party saw its golden opportunity. With the promise of ending corruption and ridding the government of rotten people, this party set forward its plan. They threw every accusation against the other party, all they could say with certainty as the truth, as well as an endless pile of lies and fabrications. The other parties were split. None of them wanted to support the ones who proved themselves visibly corrupt, but many were hesitant to agree with the radicals. The voice of the people was to be heard rapidly, as elections were approaching, and it seemed that no other party could stop the speeding train of the radicals. They won massively, losing only in major cities and with the highly educated intellectuals, also losing with most members of the clergy and a lot of activist organizations. Once in power, they dug their deep claws into the behind the scenes of the other party. They exposed all shady deals and all lies, still keeping their own inner workings hidden to all. They began odd sentiments and divisions in the country, claimed that a group of people was seeking to destroy the country, not only from the outside, but also from the within. The victorious Prime Minister who ended the war was interrupted from his retirement. The radicals called on the frail old man to explain himself and defend the actions of the country during the war. They claimed the war wasn't needed, that he needlessly sent innocent people to die. The radicals had ended the agreement and had become openly hostile to the other country. The investigations lasted a long time. They focused on the old man's senility, his friendly gesture with the Chancellor, and the occasional whisper that he would unwillingly articulate. He was deemed a traitor and was set to be put to death, but an intervention from a higher judge ordered only that he remain under house arrest. The vitriol of the radicals continued. Youth wings and the party police were starting to fill everyday life. For those that the party deemed undesirable, life became hell. University lecturers had party agents watching to ensure that professors never said anything that went against the party line. Hospitals would deny treatment to undesirables. Media was strongly suppressed, and party papers were seen as the only vehicle of truth. There were lynchings, there were break-ins and destruction of party-opposing establishments. Members of other parties were jailed and a gigantic number of people fled the country. The country saw allies in old enemies with similar policies, and threatened hostilities against other countries that welcomed the fleeing people. Soon enough, camps of death were created and the country flirted with the idea of war. Resistance was punished by death. Treason was punished by death. And for those deemed undesirable, their existence was punished by death. There was hate flowing from the mouth of so many people. The Chancellor of the other country made a remark that was caught and broadcasted by national media. He was worried for the state of the country and for the violent persecution of innocent people. The country intercepted a plane which contained the Chancellor on a diplomatic visit to another country. Once the plane landed, everyone was escorted out of the plane and shot. It was the last straw. The Chancellor's country, the country over whose land the plane was intercepted, and the country that the Chancellor was about to visit, all declared war. It was the start of the Great War of the Skies, one of the bloodiest, most violent wars that the world has ever seen. Under the justification of defense of the homeland, so many people perished, and peace faltered again. Innocent people whose only crime was to be born an undesirable were massacred. The war ended. There was no shaking of hands, because the hands of the radicals led to all of this, and they do not deserve any minuscule sign of peace for their crimes. The new regime would have a long and arduous period of reconstruction, and when there was no longer war, there were also those damned whispers. I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Sumitiper, and thank you so much for watching.